Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back here with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're gonna be doing episodes 1 and 2 review here on the channel of Hawkeye. So yeah, I know a formal review technically wouldn't include both episodes, it would just be separate videos. But honestly, seeing as though I kinda just watched both episodes at the same time, I feel like it would be unjust for me to just go like that because I know what's gonna happen. And if I was doing an episode 1 review, I know what's gonna happen in episode 2. So I feel like it's just more fair to just combine the two and just talk about it as if. I will be doing like two ratings though. Like I'll say, for example, episode 1 was on 7 out of 10, and episode number 2 is like a 10 out of 10, whatever, something like that. I would do something like that at the end. I might talk about episode 1 for a bit, then talk about episode 2. But anyways, yeah. So let's continue on here. So yeah, Hawkeye. It actually came out today, earlier today. You guys will be seeing this soon, and of course, like all Hawkeye videos, all like Disney Plus Marvel shows and Star Wars shows, I'll always review them this day they come out. So just want to make sure that's clear. And another warning too is there will be spoilers for Hawkeye in this episode. They're my complete spoilers. But anyways, let's continue. Okay, so episode 1, let's get into it. So from what this episode seems, I'm not gonna really recap the episode. I'm just gonna say some key points I see. So we saw the upbringing of Kate Bishop. We saw like where she came from, how she was a child. We saw a bit of her kind of, what I presume is her adulthood. I think it's like a young adulthood. I remember her saying that she's like 22, but I'm not exactly sure if she's 22. That's one thing. Uh, I don't know what the whole blip situation was, so that's another thing as well. We saw a bit of Clint as he was at the Avengers musical with his kids, and then we ended up seeing that Kay Bishop's mom went to a gallery, and we ended up seeing it getting robbed, and she grabbed the Ronin costume, put it on, and beat up these guys, and then ended up getting the dog called, I think his name is Lucky, I think it's Lucky, uh, the golden retriever, and basically having him as the pet. And then and then in the end we end up seeing Hawkeye come out of nowhere, and he ended up beating up some of the bad guys because he wanted to help her out. So that's basically what happened in episode 1, to say the least. Now my official, what I think about it. And fully well, honestly, like in my personal opinion, I'm gonna say this again. Like I kind of wished maybe perhaps Hawkeye would get this episode as a bit of an introduction into what was going on with him. Maybe perhaps then we'd make Kate Bishop. Like this would have made perfect sense as maybe in episode 2, and delaying that off a little bit. But I mean, I guess it's all right. I feel like we were seeing a lot more of Kate Bishop, and we're getting a lot more with her. That's one thing. It was interesting to also see her backstory. Personally, I wasn't really expecting this backstory. Like, uh, in all honesty, from the looks of the trailer and stuff, I thought she was one of those characters that perhaps, like, maybe he's, like, run away from home or something like that. Like, maybe, like, one of those types of characters that is kind of, like, hardened and stuff. I was genuinely curious. Maybe that's perhaps her. Uh, then she just, like, kind of goes around with Hawkeye and stuff like that. So I was curious about that. But then you get to see she's kind of like a very much like very upbeat and happy kind of person. It seems to be the most, and yeah, that's pretty interesting kind of see. I'm wondering to see how what her character progression will be like by the end of the series. That's one thing. Then we saw these characters named the Tracksuit Mafia, which is I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a big pun, and it's supposed to be a joke. But I'm genuinely curious to see exactly who that is. Um, yeah, that's genuinely curious. I'm genuinely curious about that. And even at the end of this episode here, I was just wondering to myself, like, is there something going on here? Because we ended up seeing uh, what I can presume is her stepfather now. I guess he's technically classified as uh, her kind of step uncle dying. So that was curious to see what was going on with that. So yeah, continuing on. Then we saw episode 2 now. Now, episode 2 is a little bit more picking up. We see Kate and Hawkeye finally meet, or Kate and Clint kind of meet. And you could see Clint's kind of like hardened and stuff from his whole time like that. Uh, we see, for example, like he's like really just trying to help out and stuff like that. And the episode's really about him. With him, he's basically trying to get back. Excuse me, the Ronin suit. Basically in this episode, and then Kate is basically just going around being like, just trying to like kind of figure out this mystery and stuff like that. And that's kind of what we're seeing. And then by the end of the episode, we see Hawkeye. He's trying to like reason with these guys. They end up kidnapping him, and then we see a big reveal, which is that Echo is there. So that's pretty cool. I have my own words about that stuff, which I'll talk about just now. But here are my thoughts on the episode so far. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say for the first episode, I would give it an easy 8 out of 10. It wasn't the greatest, but I mean it was pretty solid. It wasn't bad or anything. So yeah, I would say 8 out of 10, maybe 7.5. Uh, so yeah, in this episode it was interesting and funny, but I feel like this episode was kind of like delaying away from things. I mean, like I don't know how really to say this, but I mean, like it feels like it's just randomness in this episode. To be honest, like I want to see a little bit more. Like I feel like we're getting hints at like what's going on when he was Hawkeye. I mean Ronin. Sorry. That's just something I wanted this show to address. I think it's gonna address it soon. I mean, I'm not ruling that out or anything. But that's one thing I'm like genuinely curious about and stuff like that. Uh, I could also tell like the show is gonna be a lot in terms of like mystery, because I think there's gonna be some whole subplot kind of thing where really Kate's soon to be stepfather is basically really just like a bad guy, maybe part of the mob or something, and his mom, or sorry, her mom, sorry, not his mom, sorry, her mom was probably just like maybe perhaps like what's going on kind of thing. So I'm genuinely curious to see what goes on with that. That's one thing. Sorry about yawning there. Uh, but I'm genuinely curious to see what goes on with that. I must say though, one thing I'm liking so far about this show is I actually like the fight scenes. The fight scenes look pretty good choreographed wise, and that's pretty interesting. I would say in terms of things I'm liking so far, I like I'm liking the of course the fight scenes again. I think Kate Bishop's character is pretty interesting, pretty like interesting to me. I mean, she's kind of like to me like a teenage superhero to me. Like I feel like if you're young and everything, like you kind of relate to her, and if you're in a similar situation as her, you kind of relate to her and stuff. So that's one thing. Uh, but still, I'm still on the fence with Hawkeye. I mean, I still don't like it. I still don't like him very much at the same time. So I'm genuinely curious, but I could tell like maybe perhaps I'll eventually like Hawkeye by the end of the series. It looks to be like probably every episode will probably be like every day and up until Christmas, and it'll probably end on Christmas. Uh, Cause I think that's why they put like a 2 episode premiere right now. Just for that reason, cause I know they're probably trying to tie it into Christmas and stuff. So yeah, if I check here, it's got about it'll be ending on the 22nd, which is like a few days before Christmas. So that's just technically very interesting to know and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting throughout for the show. Now finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is at the end of the episode. If you didn't know, that is Echo. Uh, that is the character I talked about before. If you didn't know already, like I don't really have too much time to really explain Echo, but I mean, I've done a video based on her before, and also there's definitely some other YouTubers and stuff you can watch about her. But basically, this is kind of going to the plan, what people are thinking of. And uh, another thing too is that if you're genuinely curious about Echo, oh, one thing I completely forgot to say. I realized as well that Matt Fraction's actually a consulting producer on this, which is actually really interesting because, of course, he wrote that huge Hawkeye run. And also, you could realize another thing too is it's coming to comic accuracy as well, because you even see he's going deaf, I think. I think he'll eventually be completely deaf. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like maybe at the end of the series or something. So yeah, I completely forgot to touch on that. My apologies on that. Uh, Continuing on with the echo thing, you could even tell because again, you could tell she can't hear. Like the guy was literally doing like hand signals and stuff. Uh, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's completely echo. I know that's echo, and that would make complete sense. But at the same time, I'm genuinely curious to see what her involvement in Hawkeye is. That's one thing I'm very genuinely curious and what that means. Like that could confirm basically maybe Kingpin's in it. So that's one thing. I'm thinking perhaps maybe uh, Kingpin could be in the show. Like this could basically kind of confirm because we remember that whole Kingpin thing with him. He could be coming around episode 5. So I'm still genuinely holding out hope. There's nothing that's really uh, making me be like, oh, he's probably not going to be in here. I definitely think maybe perhaps I'm genuinely curious to see like who's gonna be like the villains and stuff. I wonder if Echo might be a villain of this show or something, because we know she's getting her own show as well. So that's interesting to know as well. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. In terms of rating for a second episode, slightly better, 8.5 I would say. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.